Can I secretly record buyers in my home? Today, I'm going to share with you some of the things you as a seller need to know about potentially recording buyers and their agents in your home and what you need to be aware of. So with today's recording technology, we have the ability to see exactly what's going on around our home and also what's happening inside of it. Why do many homeowners do this? Well, because it can help protect our property. But when it comes to visitors in your home, once you've listed, what about the protection of conversations of those visitors? Well, this is what we are going to discuss in this video. Also, stick around and I will share with you some more information that you need to know before you put up that camera. So, recording visitors. We can approach this subject from two angles, one from a legal standpoint and one from an ethical standpoint. While I won't comment too much on the legal aspect of recording people, there are some basic things to consider. I will say this, before you decide to post up cameras, it's important that you as a seller educate yourself on the ramifications of recording private conversations of visitors, which can be found under the provincial privacy legislation of Ontario and or PIPEDA. In short, recording potential buyers without their consent can constitute as an unlawful collection of personal information and could raise the risk of a privacy complaint against the seller and possibly their listing agent. But now let's view this from an ethical standpoint. Remember the golden rule, don't do to others that you wouldn't want done to you. Essentially, if you and your partner were looking at homes, would you object to being recorded? If you're interested in the home, could the discussion be used against you during negotiations? What if it was a private off-site conversation between you and your spouse? What if it records children? See, this is where it really hits home. From the buyer's perspective, it can come across as well rather creepy and kind of intrusive. So before you get that camera rolling, could recording a private conversation constitute a criminal offense under the Criminal Code of Canada? Well, you as a seller have some serious homework to do before you start rolling that film, as it were. It's important that you check out the following website. But does this mean, as a seller, you cannot have cameras in your home? Certainly not. Where the issue lies is consent. Yes, consent. Did the buyers consent to being recorded? Does posting a note at the front door stating the property is under surveillance suffice? Well, this is where you as a seller, you need to be really careful on what constitutes actual consent and do your due diligence before you get that camera fired up. Here are two of the best practices you as a seller should do. Number one, you should inform your contracted listing agent that there are cameras in the home. And number two, it's also important to get consent from the buyer and their agent. And the best way to do this is to get it in writing with all parties' signatures. Your listing agent can upload this consent form in MLS for every buyer and their agent to sign and return it. This way, everyone is aware and conversations between all parties can be protected. As a seller, you need to do your due diligence. So think before you record and cover all the bases. As a seller, you also need to protect yourself from any potential legal backlash. In my next video, do fences make good neighbors? I'm going to share with you 5 things you need to know about fences. In the meantime, if you have any real estate related questions, please drop me a line. We'll see you next time.